Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. We'll talk about. I think I talked about some of my playing guides before. Maybe I forgot to put a video out, but I just want a refresher or something. They had some yard sale. I was found the playing guide for the official Final Fantasy VII strategy guide. Of course, this isn't any of the online play online weird stuff. This is full playing guide. See how much of this cost? 16 bucks originally. I know a lot of these playing guides started going up in price, like a lot. You used to be able to get a deal if you bought a game with the playing guide, but well, I mean nowadays you can look up YouTube videos and all kinds of stuff. So YouTube opened up quite an avenue for gaming. So like this strategy guide is probably technically obsolete, but a lot of times I do like to have an actual strategy guide to physically look at sometimes. It makes it easier because then if it's like something on the computer, you know, I, it can be stressful at times trying to play the game and use the guide. I basically just use the guide if I get stuck. I don't really do word for word, but there are over 1 million copies in print. Of course, this is the original PlayStation game, of course. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I think the remake Father. No, I don't think you can use this on the Final Fantasy VII remake, but it's yeah, as usual, it just gives you all the tips, show you where everything is. It's very yeah, it's very detailed maps. The enemies, yeah, I mean it's old school playing guide, like in an era before before we had the internet going full blast and before had avenues like YouTube where you can watch videos and see how to do it. A lot of times I don't like watching people play videos to kind of show me how to do it because sometimes I like to. Well, in the playing guide, I can pretty much know like pretty good idea of knowing what part of the game it is and what. I mean, of course, like this, the Final Fantasy VII was the first. I think it was one of the first major RPGs of its type that I ever really played when I was younger. I remember playing this on the PC because back in the day I didn't have a PlayStation. Yeah, I didn't have a PlayStation for a while, and I didn't get one on release. So yeah, so it's like I didn't play Final Fantasy Seven or a lot of the other Final Fantasy games till later, but I played Final Fantasy Seven, and then later on I found out there were tons of other Final Fantasy games that I had never played because I didn't own a Super Nintendo. Yeah, of course, Final Fantasy Seven was of course it was the very first game that was made on another system besides the Nintendo system because Nintendo went with cartridges and SquareSoft, as they were once called, went with the disc media, which made a lot more sense because you could fit more on it. So yeah, of course now you can get Final Fantasy Seven on the Switch. You know, it's in one cartridge. Why could they not figure that out? Like, whatever. Yeah. No, 350 full colored maps too. It was just a very cool find at a yard sale. So it seems to be holding together well. There's some crease and folds and some tears on it, but it's pretty good shape. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah, this is something I remember being younger. I remember when I got older, had money, could go buy games and stuff. I'd buy playing guides with them. I think I've lost a lot of the playing guides that I used to have. Well, nowadays I could, put it online or something. I don't know. It might get in trouble with copyright issues, and we say I can't do that or whatever. But whatever. Well, you know what? Well, I just show the rest of my playing guides I have since we're here. Yeah, and if any of you guys like need help on some of these games, I'll be happy to I can be happy to kind of talk through like some part in the game you might be stuck in if it happens to be one of these particular games. I have a playing guide for Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Yeah, Brady games. Yeah, yeah, a great playing guide, like a map. The basic details of how to play the game. Much that. Yeah, I mean, I like this game, but it's like some people don't like the PS2 Castlevania games, but I think they're great. We got Final Fantasy Tactics: The War of the Lions, which is essentially the PSP kind of redoing of Final Fantasy Tactics. I know that coming here in September, we're going to have a new another remake. Well, I mean another remaster of this. I really love the stuff that the PSP version does. I don't know why they want to redo it again, but yeah, it was. Well, of course, this is a tactical RPG. I remember playing this too way back when. Well, because I used to rent, like, I would rent a PlayStation and usually rent some games because I didn't own a PlayStation at the time. But I remember playing this and not knowing what the heck I was doing. Like, I was on the first level and I was like, what am I doing? I didn't even know how to move anything or control anything. Now, years later, I remember playing this on the original PlayStation like forever. So, pretty good with it. Yeah, I mean, towards tactical RPGs have a lot of techno babble and a lot of stuff that you need to know how to do. So, playing guides are pretty good telling you all of that too. Yeah, of course. Yes, I got a Castlevania Portrait of Ruin playing guide. Yeah, playing guides were starting to kind of start to disappear about around this time. So I don't, I don't know. They still make these. I've heard a lot of these are starting to go up in price. Some of these are going for like $80 or something. Yeah, now playing guides are like more expensive, I guess. At least what I've seen. When did I get this? Probably like 2006 when I got this one. So I had it for a while. Yeah, there was a part I was stuck on, I guess, and I was like, it was nice to have a playing guide to kind of tell me where everything is, explain how to get stuff, and tips on fighting bosses and whatnot. Of course, Portrait of Ruin is another like, it's like a direct sequel to Castlevania Bloodlines. It's RPG style, so it is nice to have some help with that. I'm hoping maybe I could try to look for some other playing guides. Well, of course, I got the second PS2 Castlevania game, Castlevania Curse of Darkness. That plays Hector. Yeah, he's a character that was in the animated Castlevania series. Of course, he's he's rather different in that, and Isaac is completely different as well because he has to go after his former comrade because he turned on Dracula. So this takes place a little bit after Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse or something. So you run into Trevor Belmont and all of that. It's really does try to be a 3D Sympathy of the Night. But I just don't know. Sympathy of the Night, Castlevania Sympathy of the Night was just it was such a miracle that they made that 2D. These 3D ones aren't too bad, but some of the levels feel empty. Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to talk about the playing guide, but I'm talking about the game. But you can do it. It's kind of a fun game. It's got a little bit of grindy stuff. It's an RPG. What do you expect? So yeah, it's like make weapons, all kinds of basic stuff. Yeah, of course I got my Diablo 2. the original Diablo 2, not the remake. Oh, the remake is great. I suggest probably playing that. Probably. Yeah, the official strategy guide. Yeah, then the expansion and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, Diablo 2. I remember playing Diablo 2 like nobody's freaking business. I think people kind of almost forgot that there was. Yeah, if not for Diablo 2, we would think, oh, it was the first Diablo. You know, I have an ultimate gaming sin. I've never actually played the original Diablo. I think the original Diablo was on the PlayStation. It's on the PC. But a great game, I believe. Yeah, there are so many games that try to do what Diablo did. Yeah, there's so many games trying to be like Diablo. There's so many like Diablo clones and stuff. They're not bad, but it was just something about Diablo 2, how it was just very RPG and everything. Just a great fall game. And it's still fun to go play the original one. You know, who needs a remaster? It's still great to play it. Very addictive, fighting and leveling up and whatnot. Okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my little playing guides. As I said, I might have shown them before, but whatever. I hope you guys liked the video. Please like and subscribe. And if you leave any comments you might want about, any playing guides you might have. Because I know it's like they're kind of, I think they're still doing them, but yeah, as I've said, I've heard a lot of times trying to get the older ones are like more expensive. Much like older video games, they make them so much more expensive. Yeah, and I don't really know why, because you can pretty much go on and figure out anything. Yeah, games are really ruined nowadays, but yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I will see you guys later then. Catch you guys later. Bye.